Hey guys, it's Ty. I wanted to actually do this tutorial for you guys, just to give you guys a quick overview of exactly how I tend to do things. So this is my skin retouching tutorial and my blur technique tutorial. Ignore the silly little buttons I'm playing with. It's just me setting everything up. I should really cut this stuff out, but I really can't be bothered. So I thought I'd just get straight into setting this up and give myself some time to speak to you guys about what I'm going to do. So first of all, we're going to have a little look at retouching the surface of her skin. This is Sophie, model I shot back in November. So first of all, we're going to start getting rid of some of these blemishes just around the skin. So we are going to, well, I am going to basically just show you guys exactly how I do things. This is all pretty much common sense stuff for you guys. It's a matter of using spot healing tools, but this is kind of a tutorial for beginners, just for you guys to get to know a little bit of how I do. So we're going to select the spot healing tool, which is on the left, just up here. Make sure it's the spot healing tool, not the others, just for now. And we're going to start going into these blemishes. So first of all, we are actually going to select a new layer. So we're going to copy this one, bring it down to the new layers palette, and we're going to call this one, and then we'll call this spot removal for now. And now we're actually going to start getting rid of these blemishes, and you can see we've got some quite obvious blemishes here and spots that we need to, well, I think we need to get rid of. I don't think she needs it personally, but I just thought I'd pull this photo up as an example. I don't know why this is taking so long. There we go. Always make sure you've got a soft brush, guys. I find it easier to work with a soft brush than a hard brush. I tend to make less mistakes using a soft brush. So we're going to go over to the side of her face. We're just going to start to get rid of these little blemishes around here. Just these ones. I'm only going to do this really roughly. But usually I'd spend hours trying to get rid of blemishes or trying to get rid of, obvious spots and making sure that the skin is nice and clear. Obviously, clients tend to want, clear skin on the models. But sometimes some people want them with the blemishes on, just having a completely natural photo, which is also good. So I'm a strong believer in, making sure things are as natural as possible. So I don't tend to like doing things like airbrushing. I used to do it, but that was just me experimenting with sort of stuff. So I'm just going to go around and start taking out these little blemishes. All I'm doing is I'm using the mouse, no graphics tablets, nothing like that. Really simple, easy stuff. Just use the mouse, just go over these little spots. And also remember these areas of contrast. The nose, for example, the nose line around here is an area of contrast. So you don't want to go over the nose line. You want to sort of stay within it. And if you ever do need to get rid of a spot there, that's a rather difficult task. But you can see what happens if I do go over it. It sort of blends the nose into the skin, and that's not entirely appealing. You want to keep it, as far away from that. The same thing can happen in the jawline or the tops of the lips or anything. Like if you see, I'm just going to go over the jawline here. And you can see exactly what will happen then. You'll notice this is going to take a little while to process. I don't know why it does this, so apologies. Just listen to my horrible narration. You should be alright. Hurry up. Yeah, but you can see that little smudge mark there. It's not entirely appealing, so we're going to make sure we get rid of that. And never go over the jawline, otherwise, models are going to start complaining. But you can see the little difference that we've made there just by getting rid of that layer and re-adding it, just removing extra bits of blemishes. Now we can do this at the top of the head, but we can also use it to get rid of little patches like this. But another little technique that I like to use for little patches around the forehead is a tool called the patch tool. And instead of going through the blemish like this, it just takes forever and it doesn't entirely look neat or natural in that sense. So I'm going to select the patch tool. I'm going to select the area around the patch. The patch tool is just under the spot healing brush tool. And I'm going to drag out this space over to a separate area. It'll copy whatever in the separate area into the area that you've highlighted just there, so that you can get a little bit more of a natural appearance. It also increases your work speed. And the faster you can do your work, the better. And we're going to do it to this little blemish here. Now, obviously this will mess the hair up just a little bit, you know, but we're going to get rid of, we would get rid of that anyway. So as you can see, there's this huge hairline. Now, when I actually did this photo properly, I actually spent forever trying to get rid of that, but I haven't really got the time to show. That would have taken me about an hour at least to get rid of that. I'm a bit of a slow worker. But what we're going to use is we're going to use the healing brush tool, which is just under the spot tool. We're going to select an area just next to it, like so. Now this might not work. No, it hasn't worked entirely appealing, but that's what you can see that it copies from one side to the other. We're going to just go a little bit further up and try it up here. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot better. You can see it starting to slowly take the hair away whilst keeping the skin textures underneath the same, so you don't get these huge marks between the areas of saturation. But we can actually use the spot healing tool to do exactly the same thing. Obviously sometimes it leaves little patches like this in the skin, which isn't entirely flattering to say the least. So it's obviously I don't advise doing this. It works in some cases, but in other cases it just becomes a little bit of a pain, really. So yeah, her skin's looking pretty decent, to say the least. There's nothing really much more that I can do to it other than the next step, which is my blurring techniques. Blurring is sometimes associated with airbrushing, but this is not airbrushing. Let me just say, this is just blurring the skin to make sure that we get rid of any pores or anything that's under the skin a little bit more of a pain to get rid of than actually using the spot healing tool. So we're going to call this layer skin blur. We're going to go to blur, we're going to go to Gaussian blur, and we are going to make sure that we blur this enough so that her features are predominant. Otherwise, if we do it too much, it's just going to look really silly. I mean, you know, the blurriness of the background is just not going to be workable. So we're just going to make sure that we get this blurry enough so that we can work with it. I'd say about an 8.5. 8.5 is probably the best way to go forward. So let's give that a go. Yeah, it seems alright. Okay, let's go with that. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to layer mask this actual bit. Now layer masking is basically where we can cover up this blur and then bring it back into certain areas that we paint over on the actual image. Now we're going to use a black layer mask to do this. So we're going to press Alt and press the layer mask button. We get this sort of black layer mask button on the side, on the palette layer, just over here. Oh, sorry, on the layers layer over here, whatever it's called. And we're going to select the white brush because obviously white brings back black, so we can get rid of, you know, sort of blemishes along here. Now you can see that I'm making a little bit of a mistake. What's going on here? It's good for you guys to see my mistakes, so you can learn from what I do, because often I make mistakes as well. We're only human. I need to increase this opacity. That's my problem. On my brush, always make sure your brush has got enough opacity. And you can see me starting to paint in the blur on the face, just specifically where I want it, not necessarily on all of the image. It just keeps the blur, you know, nice and even on the skin. Obviously, you know, if I was doing this properly, I'd be spending a lot more time actually doing this. But obviously, you know, I haven't got the time to spare, so you guys can go in and spend hours and hours on this. Hopefully it's not putting you off. Hopefully my voice isn't putting you off either. But just start to push the skin in a little bit more. This is why I think Photoshop and retouching is important, because it just allows you to sort of expand your work, really, and expand the creativity is also in the post-production as much as it's in the shooting, and as much as you can do in the shooting that prevents you from doing it in Photoshop, the better. So the better the makeup artist, the better the lighting, the better the setting, the stuff that you can do in the real world will cut down your post-production time. But you know, there's always going to be an extent where you're going to have to go, okay, it's going to have to be post-production time. So I'm just finishing off the blur on the forehead. Just making sure that I've got enough there. Yeah, that seems fine. Now you can see the white outline. If I press Alt and click on the layer mask, you can see the white outline. It just tells me where I've gone. If I've missed any areas, I like to go back in and just make sure that I've got, the areas fulfilled, sorted. Make sure you don't go over the eyes. Make sure you don't go over the eyebrows, because otherwise you're going to get blurry eyes and blurry eyebrows, and that just doesn't happen. That's just not natural, unless you've got some sort of deformity. I shouldn't really say that, should I? It's horrible of me. But yeah, it seems pretty decent over the sides. Now we're going to reduce the opacity. Just take the opacity down. Makes the image look a little bit more natural. And it's all about finding the right percentage, because some images, 60% may work and it'll be absolutely fine. 40% may be fine. 20% may be fine. It really depends on the image in front of you. It's different for every single image. Like this one, I'd say about 30%, 25%. It should be just fine. And yeah, seems alright. So we can kind of not see the pores in the skin anymore. Obviously we've got the bags under the eyebrows, which we still need. You can see just by, taking that off, that's just how much of a difference we've actually made in the image. Sorry, I just burped. That's disgusting. Pardon my sense of humour as well. No shame, no shame. I don't edit my voice, there's no point. But yeah, you can see that's pretty much done. That's really quick. Obviously I'd spend more time on it. If I was spending forever on it, then it'd obviously look a lot nicer. And I'll actually upload my final version shortly after I've uploaded and sorted this video out. So yeah, guys, this is my first video. Apologies for the horrible narration and the terrible voice of mine. Hopefully it's not put you off. This is my first video, so please bear with. I will get better as I get more practice. But yeah, please like, subscribe. I will be posting more videos. I will post a video once every month to keep myself occupied and to keep you guys educated and entertained, hopefully. You can laugh at my voice. So just leave a comment at the bottom. There's a link to my photography page on Facebook. It's Tyler George Photography. So you can go on there and have a little look. If there are any images on there that you would like to know how I edited them, and by all means, just drop me an inbox or comment on them saying, I'd like to see how you process this. I'm more than willing to share with you guys my Photoshop secrets and how I shoot things. And I'll also be doing videos in the future of me actually doing a photo shoot, so you'll get to see me in the flesh actually doing work. So that should be fun. I hope you enjoy, guys. Again, don't be put off by my voice. But yeah. Just let me know if you want to know anything, guys, and thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for being patient with me, and I shall see you soon. See you later. Bye.